Prince William out doing royal duties while Meghan Sussex shakes up the internet, a classic day in the lives of the royals, or should we say the former royals? Picture this. Prince William out in Sheffield, offering handshakes and sympathetic nods, talking about homelessness while sporting a coat that could easily house a small family. Let's not forget the staged conversations about sleeping bags. It's the usual royal drill, yet it seems like the audience has found a new performance to watch. Enter Meghan Sussex, the former royal who's traded in her tiara for a sommelier's apron. She's not just shaking hands, she's shaking up the internet. How, you ask? Well, she's launched her very own Napa Valley Rose, and boy has it sent the world into a frenzy. While William was out being royal, Meghan was out being revolutionary. She didn't just drop a wine bottle, she dropped a bombshell. The world was quick to turn its attention from the prince's photo ops to the princess's product launch. Let's face it, a chilled glass of rosé sounds much more appealing than yet another scripted royal conversation. The stark contrast between their activities was not lost on the public. Where William was giving the same old royal routine, Meghan was giving vibes, elegance, and, most importantly, wine. Not to mention, she's serving it all with a side of luxury and relevance. Social media was abuzz, not with praise for William's charitable work, but with questions about where to order Meghan's rose. Even William's most loyal fans couldn't resist the allure of Sussex wine. The packaging, the taste, the vibes. It was a royal flush for Meghan. So while Prince William was busy being royal, Meghan was busy being a sensation. She didn't just serve wine, she served a lesson in how to steal the spotlight. In this game of royal versus celebrity, it's pretty clear who's coming out on top. And here's the punchline. Sussex is playing chess, and William, well, he seems to be fumbling the checkers. When it comes to the media response, it's clear who grabbed the headlines. Let's dive into it. Now, media outlets are always on the lookout for a juicy story. But when it came down to Prince William's visit to Sheffield or Meghan Sussex's wine launch, there was a clear winner. A quick scan of the front pages and digital headlines told the tale. The Duchess was the toast of the town, while the Prince, well, let's just say he didn't quite make the splash he might have hoped for. It's not that the media completely ignored Prince William's activities, but the coverage was, to put it kindly, perfunctory. A few photos here, a couple of quotes there. It was as if the press was going through the motions, ticking the royal engagement box before moving on to the next item on the agenda. Meanwhile, the frenzy around Meghan's wine launch was hard to ignore. The word launch barely does it justice. It was more of a supernova, lighting up the media landscape with excitement and intrigue. The press was all over it, analysing every detail, from the choice of vineyard to the design of the bottle. It was a masterclass in media engagement and brand power. Even the tabloids, known for their love of royal scandal and intrigue, couldn't resist the allure of Sussex wine. They were falling over themselves to get the scoop, to be the first to review the rose, to secure an exclusive interview. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, had become the story of the day, the week, the month. And let's not forget the social media storm. #Sussex wine was trending worldwide within hours of the launch, while posts about Prince William's engagement struggled to gain traction. The contrast couldn't have been starker. So what does this media response tell us? It tells us that in the world of royal engagements and public relations, it's not just about who you are, but what you do, and how you do it. And on this occasion, Meghan did it better. In the battle for headlines, it seems the Duchess, not the Prince, wears the crown. But what did the public have to say about this royal versus celebrity showdown? Well, if the internet is any indication, the public was far more interested in Meghan's wine than William's royal duties. It's as if the world collectively raised their glasses and said, "Cheers to charisma, innovation, and a good rose." While William was out there, doing his royal thing, the public was busy swirling, sniffing, and sipping Meghan's Napa Valley creation. The internet was abuzz with chatter about the wine. Tweets and Instagram posts were filled with comments about its rich aroma, the crisp taste, and the elegant packaging. Everyone was eager to get their hands on a bottle, to experience the luxury that Meghan was serving. And William? Well, his activities were met with a resounding silence. There were no trending hashtags, no viral posts, and no online buzz. It was as if the public had collectively shrugged and said, "Been there, seen that." Sure, there were a few posts about his visit to Sheffield, a few comments about his £1,000 coat and his sympathetic nods, But they were few and far between, lost in a sea of posts about Meghan's wine. Even his staunchest supporters seemed to be more interested in where they could order a bottle of Sussex wine than in his latest public appearance. It's not that the public doesn't care about the issues William was addressing. Homelessness is a critical issue that needs attention. But the public also craves novelty, excitement, and a touch of glamour. And let's face it, a new wine from a celebrity like Meghan offers all that and more. So while William was out there shaking hands and giving speeches, the public was busy raising a toast to Meghan's wine. It's clear where their interests lie. It seems for the public a good wine trumps a good royal any day. And what about the royal PR team? How did they handle this unexpected twist? Picture this. The royal PR team huddled together in a high-ceilinged room in Kensington Palace, armed with their press releases and social media strategies. The plan was set, the stage was ready. And then, out of nowhere, the Sussexes drop a wine bottle. You can almost hear the collective gasp in the room, the sound of royal hearts sinking. Prince William, out and about in Sheffield, hugging the public and reciting scripted lines, suddenly seemed to be on a different planet. The world had moved on, and it was sipping rose in the Napa Valley. Imagine the chaos, the frantic scrambling to reclaim the limelight. The royal PR team, always poised and ready for a challenge, suddenly found themselves in uncharted waters. The headlines they had so carefully crafted were buried under a sea of rose-tinted tweets and Instagram posts. The panic must have been palpable. "She launched what? Today?" You could almost hear them exclaim. Their well-laid plans, their carefully timed photo ops, all overshadowed by a bottle of wine. The world had turned its gaze from the royal blue to the blush pink of Sussex rose. And there was nothing they could do about it, but the royal PR team is nothing if not resilient. They regrouped, reassessed, and no doubt are already plotting their comeback. But the question remains, will it be enough to win back the limelight from the Sussexes? In the midst of this royal PR crisis, one thing is clear. The same old royal speeches no longer cut it. The public wants more. They want innovation, elegance, and a touch of the unexpected. And right now the Sussexes are delivering just that. In the game of PR, it seems the Sussexes have outplayed the royals. So what's the final verdict in this royal versus celebrity showdown? Well, let's recap the day. Prince William, dressed in his best royal attire, was out in Sheffield, doing his royal duties, shaking hands, giving hugs, delivering scripted lines about homelessness, all in the hopes of making headlines. But unfortunately, the only crickets in Sheffield weren't in the grass, but rather in response to William's attempts to attract attention. Meanwhile, Meghan Sussex was busy serving up a different kind of royal experience. No handshakes, no scripted lines, just a chilled bottle of Napa Valley rose and a whole lot of style. And the internet, as it turns out, is a big fan of style. And wine. The media was quick to pick up on the story, and the world followed suit. Articles about Sussex's wine launch were the order of the day, while William's Sheffield visit barely made a blip on the radar. The tabloids that usually trip over themselves to cover even the slightest royal event were suddenly struck with a case of selective blindness. The public, too, seemed to have a clear preference. Social media was flooded with posts about Sussex's wine, with fans eagerly asking where they could get their hands on a bottle. As for William's fans, they seemed to have taken a day off, leaving the prince's social media channels eerily quiet. And what about the royal PR team? Well, they were probably left scrambling, trying to salvage a day that was supposed to be a big PR win for William, but ended up being overshadowed by a bottle of rosé. The panic at Kensington Palace must have been palpable. So, in the wake of all this, what can we conclude? Well, it's quite simple, really. The Sussexes are making moves and shaking things up, while the royals are still trying to figure out their next move. In the end, it's clear, when it comes to grabbing attention, the Sussexes are playing chess while the royals are still fumbling with checkers.